Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran and I was checking out MMO Champion, looking at all the BfA pictures they have put up, kind of reminiscing BlizzCon and the announcement, and watching a little bit of the tech demos from the floor that they had provided for anybody who bought a virtual ticket. While watching the tech demos back in the day, I just didn't notice this, but looking back at the pictures, Blizzard actually is going about changing the UI. For the most part, we all agree the Blizzard UI is pretty bad. I understand what they were trying to do, and I commend them on it, because they were trying to show you more of the game. You don't need to look at the UI elements as much, you can just enjoy what's in front of you, the game. And you have your abilities at the bottom, you have your map at the top right, you have your health bar at the top left, your chat is at the bottom left, but in the center is an open space for your game. But if you are a non-casual player, whether you're PvP or PvE, chances are you're loaded up with add-ons to make your life a lot easier. And there are a few things that a lot of people do with their add-ons every single time. Changing up their health bars, adding more information on the screen, as well as changing up the unit frames and action bars. So in this video, I decided to take a look at where Blizzard could improve the UI, since they are looking at improving their UI and taking ideas from other add-ons. Here are just some ideas that Blizzard could do for their own UI in order to make life a little bit easier for the player, for them to get involved and get less casual into the game. The first thing I would love to see is a unit frame UI change. Either I'd love to see a bigger health bar, or give you a couple different options for a health bar. Maybe even allowing you to take the health bar and give it a color. I'm very much a visual person, so let's say I'm clicking on an enemy target and I'm seeing pink as the full health bar. A lot easier to see that it's a paladin. Take a look at the mana, and if they have over 1 million mana, chances are it's a healer. Makes it that much easier for me to understand the situation, realize what's going on, and adapt to it a lot easier, instead of, let's say, oh okay, I click on him, oh it looks like a paladin mog, okay, I guess I'll just keep hitting them. Maybe I'll mouse over the mana, see how much mana they have, and kind of just try to make a guess. I think improvement to the health bar would be great. If not improvement to the actual bar of itself, the actual health bar, the unit frame could do a little bit of work. And I see a lot of people moving the unit frames around. I'm somebody who puts it at the bottom center, so I can have kind of like this driver's vision, where I can look at the front and see the road, and if I just dash my eyes just slightly towards the bottom, I can see the full dashboard with my speedometer, how many miles I have left, what's my gas mileage, and I feel like it just shows me so much more information. To be able to keep up with your health bar and enemy's health bar, watching your buffs and watching their buffs and debuffs will allow players to get a little bit more information without having to add some kind of crazy UI to monitor every single buff that's in the game. If anything, I would love some presets, or simply being able to load a previous character's unit frame positioning. Because every single time I start a new character, I'm always having to fidget my position to hopefully get it right perfectly, but because I have a little bit of OCD, I keep fidgeting with it for a good 15 minutes before I get it right. Of course, it looks like since they're changing up the UI in terms of the abilities, I mean, this is basically a setup from Bartender. One of the menu setups the Bartender offers you off the bat. So I feel like they could use stuff like this, maybe a partner raider setup, like take inputs from a couple different raiders like Towley, Swifty, and make their presets into the game. People that are part of the community, people that are content creators, maybe like a raider setup, a casual setup, and more. Give players a lot of options to play around with what you want to have. If somebody wants to go get an action bar add-on to be able to change the bars to specifically suit them, that'd be cool too. But if Blizzard could incorporate some of the old versions for themselves, I feel like it will allow players to at least start messing around with how they want to customize their game and put all the important abilities, what they need to see, what they don't need to see on the bars as soon as possible. And first of all, hopefully they get more abilities than what they currently have, because if that's all the abilities we'll have in the game, oh, we will be in trouble. The third thing I would think is maybe move anything. A ability to move abilities and debuffs and buffs and maps, and literally move anything. The add-on move anything is actually really cool. It's not something I've used, but let's say if I were to start the game from the scratch, I think I would move things around. Maybe where my quests show up, maybe where I see my buffs at the top right, maybe where I see my debuffs, I would probably move them closer. Although that whole top right section is something I really got used to. And after I get used to these add-ons and where their positioning is, I guess it's not that difficult to play with it. But let's say somebody's coming back into the game, somebody's coming new, maybe they played MMOs previously, maybe there will be a spot where they can find it more convenient, more closer to them, more appropriate for them in terms of positioning, where they can see a lot more information and utilize it more properly. Again, I feel like it's just one of those tools that if you give to a new player, it will at least be like a gateway for them to try more add-ons in the future in order to see how you can customize your UI. The fourth thing I'd like to see is maybe preset macros. People use macros all the time, and I think that even though macros aren't really technically part of the UI, I feel in the World of Warcraft interface and the UI they offer, maybe have some preset macros. Maybe have some kind of a help sheet that tells you, okay, this macro will do this, this macro will do this, this macro will do this, and allow players to kind of make basic macros where they can at least substitute a free spot with a spell name. So let's say you're trying to use grapple hook and you're trying to reduce the time between aim and shooting grapple hook. You can make a cursor macro to allow yourself to propel the grappling hook to wherever your cursor is at. Maybe a player macro so you can spawn a druid mushroom on top of a player. Maybe a mouse over CC macro where let's say you're trying to control a mob, you just mouse over it, hit the key, and it will use CC on whatever mob you're moused over without you having to target. I feel like stuff like this could get a lot of players, again, to almost be like a gateway to learn more stuff about WoW. And of course this is going to have a specific tutorial, but that is going to be needed for players to understand what a macro does, how you would use it, why you would use this macro, or how you can use this macro to help yourself out. But I feel like Blizzard has done a pretty decent job with tutorials in the past. I'm pretty sure that's something that even they could handle. And finally, I think that would be great if they actually were to make a UI change to the action cam system. It's something that's been in the game and allows us to change how the camera actually looks for the character, allowing us to either, you know, have some crazy looking zoom in for the world that we're running around, make the game look a little bit more like action combat-y, or we could make it more useful. You could actually allow us to see more of the game or see it from a different angle. That'll be a lot helpful. Let's say you're doing a raid or a dungeon and you're having trouble watching the ground, seeing exactly what is happening. Maybe you want to widen your field of view. Maybe you want to kind of angle the camera up so you can see the boss, or maybe angle it a little bit lower, change it a little bit more, just customize it. And there's add-ons that can do that, but that'd be kind of cool if you could at least have some kind of presets available for it and have it as part of UI. Maybe have an advanced option where you can go messing with it, ability to reset it back to the regular, and have some presets that Blizzard on their own might have made one or two or more. Giving us more options. Maybe you just want to level in your casual leveling, maybe have a more immersive UI for that. Maybe you have your raiding setup, maybe you have your normal questing setup, maybe even a PvP setup in the future. I feel like it's a feature that just isn't utilized at all right now, and I feel like it could really go a long way if Blizzard were to go and mess around with it, or at least give players the opportunity to mess with it ourselves and maybe further enhance our game just a little slightly, if anything. And that's really about all I got. These are the best ideas I could come up with. Let me know in the comments below whether you think these ideas are great, whether they're garbage. You guys feel free to do that in the comments below. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video and if you like my ideas, go ahead and give the video a like. Likes allow my videos to reach a wider audience. So if you go ahead and do that, that would be great. It helps my channel grow, helps more people see the video, helps more people engage in conversation in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, or if you want to see more BfA coverage in the future, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to catch every single live stream, make sure to also hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button in order to catch every single live stream, which we do every single day, except for Thursdays as a day off, of course. Thank you guys so much for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see all of you guys in another video.